Summary of the poem, She Dwelt Among the Untrodden Ways by William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth's She Dwelt Among the Untrodden Ways is a simple yet profound elegy that reflects on the life and death of a woman named Lucy, a figure who symbolizes beauty, solitude, and the fleeting nature of existence. The poem is part of Wordsworth's Lucy series, in which he meditates on loss, nature, and the quiet existence of an individual who lived a life unnoticed by society. The title suggests that Lucy lived in isolation, away from the paths commonly traveled by others, a metaphor for her unacknowledged life. Her home by the springs of Dove reinforces her connection to nature, a theme Wordsworth often explores, suggesting purity and serenity. The phrase "none to praise / and very few to love" highlights her obscurity. She was like a rare flower, unnoticed and unappreciated, which further emphasizes her isolated existence. The central metaphor of the poem compares Lucy to a violet by a mossy stone / half hidden from the eye. This image of a delicate violet, concealed by its surroundings, symbolizes Lucy's modest beauty, which goes largely unseen by the world. Like the violet, her beauty is fragile and her existence is ephemeral. The poem also likens her to a star, fair as a star, when only one / is shining in the sky. This simile evokes the idea of Lucy as a solitary, unique presence, bright and beautiful but distant and unobserved by most. The star imagery reinforces her singularity and loneliness. In the final stanza, Wordsworth reflects on Lucy's death, acknowledging that her life went unnoticed, just as her death will be. Few could know / when Lucy ceased to be emphasizes the idea that Lucy lived in obscurity, and her passing will not affect many. However, the last line, "the difference to me," reveals the speaker's deep personal grief. Despite Lucy's insignificance to the broader world, her death has had a profound impact on the speaker. This line shifts the tone of the poem from quiet reflection to a poignant expression of loss, highlighting the deep personal connection the speaker had with Lucy. The poem's rhythm and meter contribute to its reflective tone. It follows a regular quatrain structure, with each stanza consisting of 4 lines, and it is written in iambic tetrameter, where each line contains 4 pairs of syllables with alternating unstressed and stressed beats. This regular rhythm mirrors the simplicity and quiet beauty of Lucy's life, while also giving the poem a gentle, flowing quality that echoes the calmness of the natural imagery. The rhyme scheme of ABAB in each stanza adds a musical quality to the poem, reinforcing the sense of harmony between Lucy and her natural surroundings. The simplicity of the rhyme and meter allows the emotional weight of the final line to stand out more powerfully, as it disrupts the quiet, understated tone of the preceding lines. The primary themes of the poem include solitude, mortality, and the unnoticed beauty in life. Wordsworth highlights how individuals can live and die without recognition, yet their existence holds deep meaning for those who knew and loved them. The poem also touches on the theme of nature, with Lucy being closely associated with natural elements like violets and stars, underscoring her connection to the natural world and the beauty found within it. Ultimately, Wordsworth conveys a sense of loss and remembrance, reflecting on how the speaker's personal grief contrasts with the world's indifference to Lucy's death.
Line-by-line explanation of the poem, She Dwelt Among the Untrodden Ways by William Wordsworth.
Line 1. She dwelt among the untrodden ways. The poem begins by emphasizing Lucy's isolation. She lived in a remote, untouched place, away from society and the usual paths people take in life. The phrase "untrodden ways" suggests a life lived in solitude, where few ventured. This creates an image of Lucy as someone whose existence was largely unknown to others, living apart from the crowds in her own world. Line 2. Beside the springs of Dove. Lucy's life is closely connected to nature, as shown by her dwelling near the springs of Dove. The natural setting gives a sense of peace and purity. The springs might symbolize life and vitality, and Lucy's connection to them suggests that while her life may have been isolated, it was also serene and in harmony with the natural world. The use of springs also hints at freshness and purity, linking Lucy's character with innocence. Line 3. a maid whom there were none to praise. Lucy is described as a maid, implying that she was young, pure, and perhaps untouched by the complexities of society. Despite her virtues, there was no one to recognize or celebrate her beauty or worth. This highlights Lucy's unacknowledged existence, as she lived her life without receiving praise or attention from the people around her. Line 4, and very few to love. Lucy was not only unpraised, but also unloved by many. This line reinforces her loneliness and emotional distance from society. It suggests that only a few people even noticed or cared about her. The lack of love and connection to others highlights the theme of isolation that runs through the poem, making Lucy's existence seem all the more poignant and solitary. Line 5, a violet by a mossy stone. In this metaphor, Lucy is compared to a violet growing by a mossy stone. The violet symbolizes her modest, delicate beauty. The choice of a violet, a small, simple, and humble flower, reflects Lucy's quiet and unassuming nature. The mossy stone adds to the idea that she was overlooked, hidden from sight, and not appreciated by those around her. Line 6, half hidden from the eye. This line reinforces the idea that Lucy, like the violet, was not fully visible or recognized by others. Her beauty, both in her appearance and her personality, was hidden from view. This obscurity symbolizes how her life went unnoticed, as if she existed in the shadows, out of sight from the world. Line 7, fair as a star, when only one. Lucy is now compared to a star, emphasizing her singular, isolated beauty. Just as a lone star shines brightly in a dark sky, Lucy's beauty is unique and stands out, yet it is distant and solitary. The comparison suggests that although Lucy may have lived in obscurity, she still possessed a rare and striking beauty, like a star that glows with a quiet brilliance. Line 8 is shining in the sky. The star continues to shine alone in the sky, further emphasizing Lucy's isolation. This image suggests that Lucy, though distant and unseen by many, still possessed a beauty and presence that illuminated her small corner of the world. Her beauty, like the star, is eternal, even if it remains largely unobserved by others. Line 9, she lived unknown, and few could know. Lucy lived her life in obscurity, and even in death, few people knew about her. The phrase few could know suggests not only that Lucy was unknown to most people, but also that she was perhaps unknowable, as if her true nature was hidden or inaccessible to the world around her. This line continues to highlight her isolation and the mystery of her life. Line 10, when Lucy ceased to be. This line refers to Lucy's death, stating that few people were aware when she passed away. Her death, like her life, went largely unnoticed by the world. The phrase ceased to be is a gentle way of describing her death, further emphasizing the quiet, unremarkable nature of her existence and the transient nature of life itself. Line 11, but she is in her grave, and, oh. Lucy is now in her grave, and the speaker expresses a deep emotional reaction with the exclamation, oh. This sudden burst of emotion contrasts with the calm, understated tone of the previous lines, revealing the speaker's grief and personal connection to Lucy. Though the world may not have noticed her death, the speaker feels it keenly. Line 12, the difference to me. The poem ends with a powerful expression of personal loss. While Lucy's death made little difference to the world, it has made a profound difference to the speaker. This final line underscores the contrast between the world's indifference to Lucy's life and the deep impact she had on the speaker. It highlights how individual lives, even those unnoticed by society, can carry immense significance for those who love them. Overall, the poem reflects on themes of isolation, unnoticed beauty, mortality, and personal grief. Lucy's life was lived in quiet obscurity, but her death has left a deep emotional mark on the speaker, revealing the powerful, private nature of grief and loss.
About the poet. William Wordsworth was born on April 7, 1770, in Cockermouth, England. He was a central figure in the English Romantic movement and is best known for his deep connection with nature, which greatly influenced his poetry. Wordsworth's work emphasized the importance of emotional experience, imagination, and the beauty of the natural world, in contrast to the industrialization of his time. Along with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, he published Lyrical Ballads in 1798, a revolutionary collection that marked the beginning of the Romantic era in English literature. His most famous work, The Prelude, is a long autobiographical poem that reflects his philosophical and spiritual growth. Wordsworth's poetry often explores themes of memory, childhood, and the sublime power of nature. In 1843, he became the Poet Laureate of the United Kingdom. Wordsworth passed away on April 23, 1850, leaving a lasting legacy on English poetry.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.